Good morning, folks, and welcome to my channel. I'm Mara Nightingale. Welcome, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you've never been here before, welcome. This is a WIP and chat. I'm working on I renamed it from Evil Baby to Evil Baby Monster, and now to Cute Baby Monster because, well, he is cute, he is evil, he is a baby, and he is a monster. But I like Cute Baby Monster better. I'm about halfway. Yeah, I'm about halfway. I've done 3 rows. Yeah, and I've got just under 3 rows left to do. So yeah, I'm about halfway. Those of you who have seen other videos of mine know that this is currently the only diamond painting that I actually have, because I am waiting for a big box to arrive in the mail, and living in Canada right now, Canada Post, our postal service here in Canada, all across Canada, went on strike, I believe 12:01 a.m. Friday morning. Today is the 18th, so that would mean 17, 16, so the 15th, November the 15th. I just wanted to double check to confirm in my head the correct date. So this is a WIP and chat of my Cute Baby Monster. But yeah, so the Canada Post is on strike. Unfortunately, the box that my friend sent me is stuck, has been in customs at the border all week last week, and with Canada Post on strike, it's going to be staying there for the foreseeable future until the strike is over. I did a tiny bit of research on I just looked at a couple of articles to do with the strike, and they mentioned the last time Canada Post was on strike was in 2018, and they were on strike for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So, hoping, praying, fingers crossed, knock on wood. Yes, it's a solid wood table. Knock on wood that the strike is over and done with in less than 2 weeks. Preferably less than a week. I know there's a lot of people, a lot of Canadians, that this Wednesday is payday for people who are on income assistance and on disability here in British Columbia. Not up to date on all of that information for the other provinces. Yes, we have provinces, not states. But yeah, so the other provinces, I don't know what theirs are like. I could ask my daughter, because she's in another province, but anyways, yeah, the government is making sure that Canada Post, they are making sure that anyone who receives checks in the mail will still receive their checks on time. But aside from that, basically, pretty much, yeah, the Postal Service is at a standstill, which really sucks. Not something I have to worry about, because my income, my income is direct deposit into my account. So, and my money is always in my account 9 p.m. the night before. I can use it online, but I cannot use it, I can't go to an ATM and take money out, or use it, go to 7-Eleven and buy something with the money. I can't. Not until like 3 o'clock the following morning. I think it's 3:30, something like that. But, yeah, so the night before payday, as soon as my money is in my account, Tuesday night, I always pay my rent and pay my phone bill. Because those are the only 2 bills that I have these days. Because Wi-Fi is included in the rent, and my vehicle is not insured. I canceled the insurance, and it's going to be up for sale soon. Well, no, not that soon. At some point, it'll be up for sale. Most likely not until spring. But in the meantime, yeah. So, yeah, so I am stuck with just having the one diamond painting, and my others are in limbo for now. And then I was like starting to worry, what am I going to do for diamond paintings, since I can't order any and have them arrive in the mail. Like, I could order them from Amazon, because Amazon uses Purelator, which is not on strike. Then I would have to wait until I go into the town next door with my dad on Thursday. And yeah, if I order them this week, they're not going to be in, and I wouldn't be able to pick them up until next week. Now you're probably wondering, why am I putting these drills in this bottle? Well, instead of the other bottle. Well, it's 2 bottles of the same. They're both the letter V. There's not really a point in putting them in this one, because so few, so they're in this one. And then empty bottles, I put them in upside down in my container. There. That's just the way I like to do things. So, anyways, diamond paintings. So then I remembered, oh wait, I was thinking, well, I'll just go to Walmart and see what they've got, because I know Dollarama has some, but I already have the ones that are at the dollar store. I already own. I've bought them in the past. They don't have any new ones. I'm not buying them again. Walmart might have 1 or 2, so I'm gonna have a look there. And then I remembered, well, duh. There's 2 stores in the town next door that I have gotten my horoscope ones from, right? So I could go to those 2 stores. So, but first I'm going to check out Walmart and see what they've got there, if they've got any of interest, because I go there for my groceries anyways. I also have to get propane while I'm there, because the beginning of last week my one propane tank ran out, so I switched over to my other one. I have 2 propane tanks, yeah, so I when one is empty, then I shut that one off and I turn the other one on. So, but because it's been less than a month, I'm actually going to be on payday. Well, no, not on payday. On Thursday, because I go to the town next door with my dad on Thursday. On Thursday, I'm going to actually disconnect. I'm going to shut off the propane tank. I'm going to disconnect both propane tanks, top up the one, and fill the other one, so that I have 2 full tanks of propane, so I don't have to worry, period. I also want to look into getting another space heater for here. If I can get a slightly larger one for in here than the one that I have in here, in the main part of my fifth wheel. I'm going to take that one, put it in the bedroom, and then the little tiny one that I have in the bedroom, I'm going to bring it in here, and I'm going to have it underneath the table for my feet. So then it'll be nice and warm under the table for my feet, and for when my cat Peaches sleeps by my feet. Which he's been doing a bit more lately. Yeah. I'm also going to be looking at I added parchment paper to my shopping list and I know I can get it at the dollar store because I've got it there before. Because sometimes I will have a diamond painting that the release papers won't stick to very well. I had that problem with this one at the very beginning. And I mean at the very beginning. Yeah. It was frustrating because I had uncovered a section like this. And like you saw, I took one sheet off and then the other sheet I moved over a little bit. Well, I did that at the very beginning of my first row. And the one sheet that I had moved over, that one kept coming off and moving around, and it was a little on the frustrating side. So that's when I decided to add the parchment paper to my shopping list. So then the next time it happens, I'll have it. Oh goodness, I was planning on sending a box to Mushy this payday, this week. Unfortunately, with Canada Post on strike, I can't. So sorry, Mushy. I was hoping to get it was going to be like an early Christmas present. A little bit of a project for Sundown to do, as well as some handmade gifts, some handmade items, and no pink, because I know you hate pink. I know Mushy is not a pink fan. I'm not really a fan of pink either, but if there is pink, that's okay. It's not very much. I believe in this diamond painting, this is the closest to pink that there is, I believe. Yeah. And it's actually a shade of purple. Yeah, I'm just checking, and yeah. This is the closest to pink that there is in this diamond painting, and it's actually a purple. Oh my goodness, excuse me. It looks a little pink on the canvas. Here is the A's. Yeah, here are the A's, and here are the A's, and yeah, they look on the canvas. It looks a little pink, little bit pink. Oh goodness! So that is everything that's going on to do with diamond painting, I guess. I also went and I dug out. I was doing some stuff, and I found all my little trays, the little trays like these ones. And because I've been using this one, and then it's like, well, then I decided I was digging around for doing some stuff and pulled out this one, and then it's like, oh wait, I had a tool kit that I hadn't divvied up yet, and it had this one in it, and I was like, wait, there's a purple one. So I pulled out the purple one, and the purple one is actually a little bit larger than these ones. This one has slightly straighter sides than these two. These two, the sides, they go outwards a little bit. But the purple one, the sides are not as high. But the white one, I actually really like the white one, except for the size, of course. They're just too small. But I have a lot of patience. I can handle it. I really like this white one because there is a space, the space on either side is larger. And it does help with making it easier for me to pick up the drills on the side, than like the larger trays, because these tips are larger than the drills. They stick out more than the drills. So, and I've found that to be an issue with the larger trays, the really big trays. Yeah. Okay, so trying to think. Yes, trying to think. It's a challenge for me. Yeah, so this has been, this weekend I did not do any videos, no recording, no videos, none of that stuff, because it was a really bad weekend for me. Like, it was a bad weekend. I spent most of the weekend sleeping, because I got very little sleep last week between recording videos and watching videos, and then there were live streams and watching more videos, and yeah, I just didn't get very much sleep last week. And man, did I crash on Friday. I also crashed on Friday because the power went out. No, wait. No, the power went out after I fell asleep. Friday night. So, yeah, the power was out almost for the better part of Saturday. And yesterday for a bit as well. No, I'm wrong. That's wrong. Saturday was the worst day for the power because the power was out. When I woke up Saturday, the power was out. The power had just recently come back on. I was up for like 2, maybe 3 hours. And I was going to do a video, and then the power went out. And it's like, well, this sucks. Because when the power goes out, there's no heat. And the fifth wheels are not that well insulated. And I have a problem with humidity in here. I need to get a dehumidifier because all my windows are wet, which I discovered yesterday. Yesterday I was going around, there was little mold growths on my window ledges, and water everywhere, so I was cleaning all of that up as best as I could, and looking up dehumidifiers to get for in here. So that's something else I'm going to be getting this week, is a dehumidifier, because I don't want to risk ending up in the hospital and having mold rotting away my home due to the moisture buildup. So, and yeah, so so Saturday, I spent a large chunk of it in bed. I actually put an extra comforter on my bed because of it getting cold. And yeah, I ended up going back to sleep. I woke up yesterday morning about 1 o'clock in the morning. It was less than 20 minutes after the power came back on, and the reason I know that is because I have a lamp in my bedroom that has a digital clock and thermostat on it, temperature gauge. Shows date, time, temperature, and I got it from Temu. It's really cool. I would show you, but the phone I'm using to record is the one that I do Temu on. But it's a really cool lamp, and when the power comes, when the power comes back on, the light turns on, and the clock starts from basically from 0 or whatever, what have you. And so yeah, it said that like less than 20 minutes since the power came back on. So yeah, it was around 1 in the morning, and so I got up and was working on warming up. And of course I've got the space heaters in here. I don't have very large ones because of I don't have very much space. Although now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna ask my dad if he has a spare space heater that I can borrow for the winter, because I don't like the furnace. It's like since the power came back on yesterday morning, it's been all day yesterday. It's like every 10-20 minutes it's been kicking in to help with warming the place up. But I gotta see about another space heater. But I also need to see about making sure I have a spot that I can safely have it, so it's not in the way, and it's not gonna risk. I'm not gonna risk burning the place, setting anything on fire. All of that's wonderful stuff. So yesterday was also a bad day for me because if I go too long without eating, I start to get nauseous and lightheaded. A little lightheaded, but I get pretty nauseous. And I tend to wait too long before making something to eat. And I don't have anything that I can just quickly snack on while making something to eat. So I went and I opened up a can of New England clam chowder, which I love, 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 love. It's my favorite clam chowder. I guess it's kind of like my favorite soup. But anyways, I put it in a bowl. I scooped it out of the can, put it in a bowl, threw it in the microwave, and I nuked it. Like I normally do. I don't always cook it on the stove. So I threw it in the microwave, and then I ate it. And about an hour later, it's like, well, I'm really not feeling well. I'm going to go lay down. On my way to going to lay down, I went and I stopped in the bathroom to go to the bathroom. And sure enough, I got violently ill. While sitting on the toilet, I could feel it. I could feel it. I have had food poisoning before in the past, so I know what to expect. And sure enough, yeah, I got violently ill. I brought up a large amount of the clam chowder. It actually came out both ends. I know, gross. I'm not going into too much detail, but it's probably already too much detail. But anyways, I got sick, very unwell. And I texted my dad and I told him, I'm like, yeah, I think I gave myself food poisoning. He's like, you shouldn't do that. It's not it's not good. It'll make you sick. Oh my god, duh. He's like, well, just lay down, get some rest, or stay close to the can. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bed. And, well, with this place, it's not far from the can either. So yeah, I went to bed. And I eventually ended up falling asleep. And yeah, I got a few hours of sleep. When I got up, I was feeling a fair bit better. And it's like, well, I'm awake, I'm up. Not long after I got up, it's like, well, I'm hungry, but I don't want to cook. I've got a few dollars in my account, so I got myself all bundled up, because yes, it snowed on Friday. Yes, the biggest reason why there were issues with the power. The power was fluctuating. That's right. The power was fluctuating when I got up on Saturday. It had been out, and then it came back on, and then it was fluctuating when I got up. And then, yeah, and then a little bit later, the power went out. And then it was out for several hours. So yeah, excuse me, I got all bundled up. And grabbed my bike and walked my bike, and I took a flashlight because it was after dark. It was almost 6 o'clock at night. Yeah, and it was dark. And I walked over to 7-Eleven. And on the way, I walked past the dumpster for this place, so I took a bag of garbage with me as well. And I walked my bike because rather than just walking, because of I use my bike as like back support, like support for me, because I don't have a bad I have a bad back. I don't have a good back. I have a bad back. So I use my bike like support rather than investing in a walker. I may be getting old, but I'm not that old yet. At one point in time, I did have a walker. Never used it, but I had it for just in case. But then got rid of it because, well, moving, got rid of a whole bunch of stuff when we moved. And one of the things that we left behind a lot of stuff when we moved. Anyways, so yeah, I walked over to 7-Eleven, and I got myself a Slurpee, and I got myself a pizza, and while I was waiting for the pizza to cook, I decided to sit down rather than stand and wait, because the longer I stand, the more my back hurts, the more I end up leaning forward until I'm like, well, I look like Quasimodo, all hunched over and whatnot. So I went and instead of standing, I went and I sat down, because they've got like a table. Well, it's like a long booth type, I don't know what you'd call it. It's like a really raised bar type table with tall chairs by the window where you can sit, and they've also got electrical outlets with USB ports, so like you could sit there on your laptop or plug in your phone to charge it. Well, there was a couple there from a smaller town in the other direction, from a neighboring tiny town. They were there charging their phone, and they're like, yeah, we've got no power. We've had no power for quite a while, for at least a day, and we've heard that we're probably not going to have any power at home until tomorrow morning. It's like, oh, lovely. So they were there sitting at 7-Eleven killing time, charging their phones. I was like, well, that sucks. Yeah. And so yeah, I sat there and chatted with them for a few minutes while waiting for my pizza to cook. And then when my pizza was done, I stuck my Slurpee in my coat pocket, and then balanced my pizza on the handlebars of my bike, and then walked my bike home. And yeah, used my flashlight to help me see where I was going. I also had my flashlight with me because, well, it's a bit of a beast, and if anybody tried anything, well, I'd just beat them over the head with it. Because I kind of forgot my my personal security alarm, my little kitty cat alarm thingy. Because it's hooked on my on my little backpack bag purse deal. Yeah, I felt I didn't need to take that with me. I just needed my phone for my 7-Eleven app, and I use Google Wallet, but I also take my bank card just in case. Because, yeah, I recently had to replace my bank card, and that's something I gotta do. Some point this week, I gotta call my bank, call customer service from my bank, and ask them about the proceedings of them reversing the charges on my bank account. Because my ex made a purchase through Xbox using my banking information, because I forgot to delete it from his Xbox account. So I'm trying to get that reversed, because well, it's not his money. If he wants to purchase something like that, he can use his own money. Not mine. We haven't been together for over a year. So there. Actually, it's been almost 2 years. We were still living under the same roof, but like we had separate bedrooms. We weren't really actually a couple anymore. We were more like roommates, housemates, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I still did stuff for him, but that was like shopping, going and buying him his devil's lettuce and his tobacco, and grocery shopping. And when he needed new shoes, I took him to Walmart to get him new, so that he could get new shoes, that kind of stuff. Yeah, we were more like roommates by that point. And now we're just really nothing. I blocked him not long after I moved into my dad's earlier this year. I blocked him. I blocked him on Discord, I blocked him on Facebook, I blocked him on TikTok, I blocked him on Instagram. I think I stopped following him on Twitch as well. Yeah. If memory serves me. I'm going to do Y because there's just... Why? Because it's the first time Y has shown up. And because I want it. And there's only, 5. I know there's way more than 5 in the tray, but I only need 5. And 5. Yeah, so it's been an interesting weekend for me. Not that pleasant of a weekend. Since I did Y, I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to go in reverse. Reverse alphabet. X. I'm going to go with X next. Yeah, between the food poisoning and spending most of the weekend in bed. Not by choice. Yeah, not by choice. I think I think a large part of the reason why I spent so much time sleeping this weekend, well, at least a contributing factor anyways, is my depression. My depression is the reason why I am on permanent disability. I can't really work with because my depression is very severe. It is very severe. I've ended up in the hospital multiple times because of it. I've mentioned a few of the incidences in previous videos. I actually have a contract with the hospital. Well, they called it a contract. I don't know. I guess in a way you could say it's like a contract. If my depression and anxiety get to be too overwhelming, what are ways that I can deal with it before I try to unalive myself, basically, because I have tried several times in the past. Because I have super sensitive skin, I've never tried to physically unalive myself. It's always been a different way. I don't know what the terms of service are for, like, I don't know I don't know what I can and cannot say when it comes to this kind of stuff, without raising a flag with YouTube's terms of service. So I'm just going to say that I'd rather just go to sleep. Safest, least painful way for me. But anyways, I'm a good girl these days. I do my best to follow the contract. If if it starts to become too much for me to cope, and I'm not able to distance myself from, like, if there was a situation that caused me to have an issue. I know I'm going in a roundabout way trying to explain it, but like I said, terms of service with YouTube, I don't want my channel shut down or strike or anything like that. If I want to do anything, like if it's too hard for me to handle and I can't get away from the situation, and if getting away from the situation doesn't help, I call 911, I go to the hospital. The last time I was at my dad's, and there was a situation I couldn't deal with it. I called 911, and by the time I got to the hospital, I was doing a lot better, because the paramedic was very understanding, and he helped me talk through what I was going through. Not necessarily talking about what caused it or anything like that. He basically just let me talk, and just focusing on the talking. Plus, I was not wearing my glasses, so I couldn't see how hot he was. Oh my god. Yeah, so if I had known how good looking he was, I would have been tongue-tied and I would have said some really stupid things. Yeah, having just talking to someone who knows how to deal with people going through problems like this helped. My dad doesn't understand because it's not something he has personally experienced, so he doesn't understand. He just looks at it as like it's a cop out. It's all in your head. Just buck up. Yeah, he's the kind of person that he's old school, like old school. He's like, yeah. So talking with him doesn't help. I have tried. I'm still trying. Um, I've tried talking with him, like, because I suffer from severe depression. My daughter suffers from depression, not as bad as mine, thankfully. But we both also suffer from anxiety. She also suffers from ADD. To my dad's like, well, those are just, like, my dad looks at it as they're just made up words to try and explain away laziness, basically, is what it comes down to in his eyes. It's laziness. And it's like, well, no, it's not laziness. It is a disability. Oh, we didn't have we didn't have things like that back when I was your age. Pretty sure you did. It was just not diagnosed. Like, yeah. Yeah, there's so many things that back in his day had not been they were not diagnosed, so they didn't know how to treat it. So basically a lot of times the symptoms were ignored, and like my sister used to, like, if I ever complained of something to my sister, she's like, oh, it's all in your head, knock it off, and basically, like, get out of my face type deal. That's how my sister was. It's all in your head. It's all in your head. Yeah. And unfortunately, yeah, in a way, that's how my dad has always been too. It's like, it's all in your head. Just ignore it, push through it, that kind of stuff. Yeah, things like that. Walk it off. That's the phrase. Yeah, just walk it off. Yeah. That's like telling someone who had their leg amputated to walk it off. Right? Well, maybe I don't know if that's a good analogy, but yeah, my dad would tell me, like, knock it off. Just walk it off. Suck it up, buttercup. That kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, like, if some, like, I'll be doing something and I'll hurt myself, and he'll be like, oh, that didn't hurt, because I automatically say ow, because it hurt. Sometimes I say ow because it's, you know, like, I'm just so used to saying ow because it usually does hurt, that even if it doesn't hurt, I say ow. And he'll be like, what? I'm like, and I just say, nothing, it's nothing. Yeah. Because, well, yeah, I've learned to tolerate a certain amount of pain. But even then, there are certain pains that are intolerable. Like when I had gallstones. Ooh, that was bad. I had gallstones. I got my gallbladder removed along with the gallstones, and then not shortly after the surgery, like later that night, went to McDonald's. Had McDonald's, and then the boyfriend that I had at the time, we went back to his place, and he made popcorn, and we watched a movie, and then we went to bed. Well, the popcorn had way too much butter in it, and I woke up in the middle of the night in excruciating pain. Yeah. Excruciating pain. He had his mom come over, because she lived, his apartment was his parents lived in a house across, I guess, across the street, kind of, from the apartment building that he lived in. And so she came over, and we went by ambulance to the hospital, which was like a 2-minute drive. Because she didn't drive, didn't have a license, so she couldn't exactly drive. So we went by ambulance to the hospital, and oh yeah, I was in so much pain, and I couldn't handle it. Well, the way I handle pain, if I'm not like screaming bloody murder from the pain, I hum and I rock. It's the only way for me. It helps me focus and not lose control. And unfortunately, well, that's what I was doing while we were in the waiting area of the hospital in Emerge there, rocking and humming, and unfortunately it was bothering somebody, and I apologized. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't help it. This is how I basically, like, well, I couldn't exactly explain because I was in a lot of pain, and for me to speak, it was a distraction. I just kept saying, I'm sorry, can't help it. Back to humming and rocking, and his mom periodically rubbed my shoulders, which did actually help. Rubbing my shoulders or rubbing my back, I can't remember which. It was a few years ago now. It was like 10 years ago. So, but yeah, it turned out the reason I was in such excruciating pain so soon after surgery was because of the grease from the McDonald's and all that excess butter on the popcorn. So I very rarely eat McDonald's anymore. If I were to choose between McDonald's and A&W, I'd go with A&W. Yeah. I don't know, I've always preferred A&W over McDonald's, but like McDonald's is more popular than A&W. Usually it's easier to find a McDonald's than it is an A&W. There's no McDonald's in this town, but there is an A&W. And kind of right next door is a DQ. I think it's a DQ. It's either DQ or Wendy's. I can't remember which. It's really new. That's that new. But I live within easy walking distance. Well, it's easy biking distance to A&W and the other fast food place. It's easy walking distance to Tim Hortons and 7-Eleven. And it's easy biking distance to Subway. But Subway and A&W and like DQ or Wendy's, they're on the other side of the highway. So, and they're only open during the day. Whereas 7-Eleven is open 24/7. Tim Hortons, I don't know. But yeah, basically because of my depression, yeah, it's hard for me to work. Because if I get into it, because I could end up in a situation where I am having an emotionally low day, and I go to work, and something happens, it could trigger me to the point where I would start crying, and I wouldn't be able to do anything but cry. And yeah, that would get me fired pretty quick, because I would end up crying so bad that I would have to call an ambulance and go to the hospital. Although they did give me Ativan. They did give me Ativan, and I've only had to take one. I actually did end up having to use it once. So, but yeah, it would just, unfortunately, that is why I don't work. And trying to explain it to my dad, he doesn't understand. So I do this. I don't really talk about this with my dad. I talk about it briefly with my bonus mom. Once in a while, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I've got this many followers, subscribers now," and she's like, "Oh, good for you." Yeah. So, but this, I find this is therapeutic for me. It's helpful for me. Gives me a way to vent frustrations, gives me a way to socialize. If I wanted to make a career out of this, I probably could, but of course it would require a lot of work. My mental capacity is not the greatest. I forget things a lot, as you may have noticed. I do pick up on things, certain things. Terminology, I don't know, it's hit and miss. But I know, like, if I was going to make a career out of this, I could make a little bit of money from it, but not very much. I don't know if I would be able to, but we'll see. In the meantime, hopefully there's enough people out there that like you guys, that like the content, and will continue watching. And I gotta come up with more uplifting things to talk about. Too much of my life is negative stuff. So yeah, please comment stuff that you would like me to talk about. Oh, that reminds me something that I completely forgot to do, that I said in my last WIP and chat. Something that I want to do in my videos is, I want to start each video with, is my little birthday and horoscope book. It is November 18th, and yeah, so November 18th, you are conscientious, ambitious, accurate, and just. You do not act hastily, but are steady and reliable. You always finish whatever you undertake. You are both artistic and musical, and have ideals. You are jovial, hearty, and fun-loving, and will be happily married. I can show these pages, because there's no names written in here. Not all pages have names, but a few of them do. So you're not gonna get to see that very often. Well, maybe more often than not. But yeah, so anybody whose birthday is today, that was your horoscope according to that book. The type of person that you are. If I do a video on my birthday, then next year, then you'll get to hear mine. But yeah, so anybody with November 18th as your birthday, happy birthday. There's your horoscope. I hope it's accurate. If not, sorry, but the book was written a number of years ago, so anyways, Is there anything else for me to talk about? Yes, please, somebody write something in the comments that you'd like to hear me talk about. Like, I can talk about books that I've been reading, although I'm currently still reading just the one. My Vampire System. It's a really long story. I'm reading it online. It's free online. I've seen a few little videos of the book, the story. But for apps for you to be able to like watch or read the whole book, and they're like, well, you get so far into the book and then you have to pay or something in order to be able to continue it. But I'm reading it online on a website where it is 100% free. And when I'm done that one, the same person that wrote that one, but yeah, I've mentioned before, it's, oh God, the grammar is atrocious. It is atrocious. I can't read any of it to you because it's, unfortunately, I'm reading it on the same phone as I'm recording right now. Maybe in my next video I'll record it on my other phone and then read some of it to you exactly as how it is written. Yeah, quite often I have to reread something like 3 or 4 times to be able to figure it out in my head exactly what they're trying to say, and it doesn't always work. Because, yeah, trying to translate, because it was translated from another language, I think, like, I don't know, an Asian language. But the person also wrote, there's my vampire system, my dragon system, and my werewolf system. And I know my dragon system is like a prequel, kind of a prequel to my vampire system. It's actually about the ancestor of the main character from my vampire system. Yeah. Yeah, so go figure. The main character of my vampire system was human, became a vampire, turns out his ancestor was a dragon. A dragon, like, godlike dragon or whatever. Well, a dragon with godlike powers, I guess. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, once I'm done reading my vampire system, then I'm going to read my dragon system, and then eventually my werewolf system. Yeah. But yeah, what's currently happening in my werewolf system that I'm reading, my previous video I was talking about what's been going on in the book, in the story. Fighting against the Dalki and with the vampires and the humans, and the Dalki have created more powerful versions of themselves. The Dalki were originally created by vampires as an alternative food source to humans. Unfortunately, they were sentient beings. And basically they became a race of their own, but they have a limited lifespan. And so, because like they were created in a lab, they're fighting to try and find a way to make their lifespans longer, so they can live longer, like humans and vampires. Because yeah, their lifespan is way shorter than a human's. but they also don't go through, like, because of being created in a lab, they're pretty much full-grown adults. They don't procreate, they don't recreate, they don't, like, yeah, they don't have children, they don't have offspring. They're just, yeah, from a lab. But they find a way to make themselves stronger, and they're fighting against humans and vampires, and yeah, the humans and vampires are working together. I know I'm probably spoiling the story for you by telling you what's going on, in case you ever wanted to read it. But yeah, it's long, and unless you want to dedicate a lot of time to reading a grammatical disaster of a book, but it is still a really interesting story. Yeah. And I can't exactly, because of copyright, I don't want to, I can't really read, like, I could read, like a few chapters in a video, but, like, it's, oh goodness, I can't even remember how far into the, like, into the book, like, what chapters I'm on. I think I'm in the 1600s, and I think there's just over, like, just over 2,000. There might be like 2,200, 2,300 something chapters. I can't remember. Yeah. But yeah, I am finding, oh goodness, excuse me. I am finding my wanting to read it more and more lately, because yeah, I want to finish, want to see what happens. I want to see how it ends. Because the main character, yeah, he's like the most powerful being in existence, basically. Compared to other humans and vampires. He is the vampire king, even though he's not even 20 yet. 20 years old. Yeah, he's vampire king. And he had become one of the most powerful. He became a member, like one of the most powerful members of the government, if you want to call it a government, one of the most powerful ruling factions of humans. He became he was the leader of one of the foremost powerful factions of humans. Yeah, humans were they're ruled over by there were four factions. They were known as the Big Four. There was the Earthborn, which is like they're the soldiers. The Earthborn were the soldiers, the ones that trained all everybody with abilities. And then there was the Greylash family. They have the power. They have the ability of using manipulating lightning. There was another faction. I can't remember the name of the faction, but the leader's name, her name is Mona, and they're able to control animals. There's another one, Storm Shield or something like that. They were one of the big four. They were able to control fire. The leader of the Earthborn, his name was Oscar, and he had a special sword that used ice abilities. Yeah. But yeah, all kinds of... Oh goodness. Oh my goodness. Sorry about the yawning. I've been up since shortly after 3 this morning. I actually fell asleep before 11 last night. Because it was a stressful weekend for me, so I went to bed early. I was in bed. I was asleep before 11 last night, which is very, very, very rare for me. But yeah, I was up shortly after 3 this morning, so I was able to watch my version of the news. I say my version of the news. It's this one YouTuber, he live streams news that interests him. Every weekday morning. So, not Saturdays or Sundays. Oh, goodness, excuse me. But yeah, and the majority of what he was talking about this morning was to do with Donald Trump, and Biden and Harris, and there was also, and like, he reads news articles. A large portion of the news articles that he reads are from PJ Media. I also, another YouTuber that I watch that live streams, she is a writer for PJ Media. And some of her articles are just very, very eye-opening and very interesting. And she puts a lot of work into researching the information before she actually posts her articles. Oh, excuse me. And her name is Megan Fox, not the actress, but she is a news reporter named Megan Fox, and she has her own YouTube channel, and she is quite fun to watch. Yeah. She is quite fun to watch. Oh goodness, I'm so sorry about the yawning. My coffee is not working. Either that or it's just I need to go back to bed. Just as the sun is starting to come out, I need to go back to bed. I need more sleep. Yeah, I need more sleep. Because you gotta think, like, I fall asleep at 11. So 12, 1, 2, 3, so like 5 hours? 12, 1, 2, 3. Okay. 4 hours. My math ain't mathin'. 4 hours. So yeah, because his channel, his name, the guy that I watch, I don't know what his actual name is because, well, he keeps it's privacy reasons. So his YouTube channel is Shizzy Wiznut. I know you're like, what? And everybody calls him Shizzy. But yeah, Shizzy Wiznut. and he's hilarious. Yeah, he is hilarious. He live streams. Oh my god, now I can't stop yawning. He live streams like 1-2 times a day. Sundays he live streams Sunday evenings. He does dramatic readings every Sunday evening with other YouTubers, with friends, and some of them they are pretty funny. The voices. Last night they did dramatic readings of Grimm's Fairy Tales. I haven't watched it yet. I think I'm gonna do that after I get off of here. I'm gonna watch that. And from what I was reading this morning, I'm gonna be laughing. My gut is gonna be hurting from laughing. Okay, sorry about that. I needed a quick drink. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get off here. And see you in the next one.